You are about to traverse the unknown, a topic of the stars, one that has been debated against us, by us, for hundreds of years, and surely for more to come. But in the process of the discussion, please don't take it too seriously.
There we go. Nice. Yeah. I don't look 40, but my hairline says I am. So. Well, fuck me. What was I gonna say? I should be looking down.
Maybe these stories aren't, reality. Maybe these are the way that people put up with things that they don't really get.
You can't smoke in here. You can't smoke in here.
Well, I'm going to. It's a fascinating subject. It is my favorite subject. Nobody will shy away from discussing UFOs and aliens. I think everybody enjoys that conversation.
I was, I think maybe 8 or 9. I was just finishing up 2nd grade. And my father picked me up from school. And on the dash of the car, I saw a movie. I saw a disc right there that I hadn't seen before. And I asked him, I was like, what's that? And he showed me a copy of it, and it was the cover of Star Wars 4, A New Hope. And I asked him, what's Star Wars? And he said to me, son, Star Wars was something that I grew up on.
See, I grew up in a really, really rural town. Most of the population was over 50 and everybody was really superstitious. Whether you can resent those kinds of places or you appreciate them, it was still the perfect area to grow up for ghost stories. Those kinds of things cropped up a lot. One that I remember really clearly is that the old abandoned hospital was haunted. Another one was that there were ghost lights behind the woods in my house. So when I was growing up, it really wasn't that hard to build an interest for those kinds of stories. When I got to school and we got to a library, the first things that I jumped towards was ghost stories. And eventually that led me to UFOs. Back then, there was a lot of crossover between the two. They were just kind of lumped together as urban myth.
My exposure to the alien subject started at a very young age. Me and my dad were watching Mars Attacks. It was a film from the early 90s, I believe. Maybe the late 90s, somewhere in the 90s. And it was about alien invaders attacking people in a very comical way. It was a satire of sci-fi pictures. And my dad made a comment basically stating, a lot of people believe in that stuff. I said, what do you mean? He said, a lot of people believe that we are not alone in the universe and that there are aliens. I believed in this stuff until I was about 21 years old. I carefully documented everything. I was a big fan of Ancient Aliens in my teens. I even have a folder here somewhere that would be pretty hard to find, but it's out there. With all of my discoveries and all of these feeble connections that I had made to aliens, UFOs, and ancient civilizations, I really believed it.
Nothing really changed for me up until I was about 10 years old. I was staying with my grandma. I had been asking her some family stories, and eventually she told me one about how her father had decided to become ordained as a preacher. She said that while he was working out one late July night, he saw a ball of fire burn through the sky. Those were her words. And he said to her that that was an omen, that was a sign. I asked my grandmother, did you know what a meteor was? And she asked me. She said, no, what is that? It took me a little while to be able to put this together, but that was my eureka moment.
Do I believe UFOs exist? Of course. From seagulls to weather balloons to foreign aircrafts to classified military aircrafts, UFOs absolutely exist. Do I believe that UFOs, such as the videos on YouTube, little green men piloting flying discs that have no means of suspension whatsoever, do I believe those exist? There's no evidence for it. So no, I don't.
You can trumpet your conviction to the rooftops if you want to. You can say as much as you want, say, I believe this or I don't believe that. But the reason it's such an interesting, I guess, topic of discussion is because when you really start breaking everything down, there's very little evidence to support either claim.
We're not out to start a war with anyone. We're not out to make fun of anyone, which that's likely to happen. But it's hard to discuss Bigfoot as a skeptic without seeming like you're making a mockery of the people. That's not the impression that I want to give to people. We're making a mockery of the topic. We're going to make jokes. There are going to be countless occasions where people don't like what we have to say, but that's the nature of a discussion.
I think what we got is gonna frustrate a lot of people, but that's kind of the point.
There doesn't seem to be anyone exclusively discussing the UFO and aliens topic from that side of the fence. It's always someone who talks about religion or talks about social justice issues, and then on the side, every now and then to keep things different, they'll talk about the UFOs.
We looked at all the skeptic channels on YouTube right now, and we didn't want to dive too much into politics. You know, that wasn't something we wanted to build a foundation on. You know, we wanted to talk about something a little more traditional. We thought the perfect topic of discussion would be, hey, let's just talk about UFOs. Let's talk about sci-fi stuff, like stuff that people actually give a shit about and have given a shit about for a very long time.
So we're here to kind of fill that gap and to talk about a subject that the three of us have found to be fascinating beyond any other topic.
I couldn't be more excited for what we're about to show people, and I really hope they are too. I'm ready, man. Let's go. Let's do it.
It's a topic that I hope other people will enjoy discussing, despite their stance on the matter. And hopefully, when all is said and done, this will just be fun.